Hey YouTube, this is MindTech. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing this Velocifire full-sized mechanical keyboard. I'm really excited about this. I bought it primarily for my mom to use while she is teaching her virtual classroom, and I think it's going to be a really nice addition to my mechanical keyboard collection, which currently is just my one Cherry MX Blue Razer keyboard. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. There we go, nice and easy to open. My first impression is that it is really heavy, and that's a really good thing because you don't want it to slide around your desk while you're trying to type. We have a USB Type-C cable right here to charge it. A lot of people still include micro USB on especially the cheaper products, so I'm happy that Velocifire decided to go all out and spend the extra few cents on USB Type-C. And we also get the wireless dongle. This is not a Bluetooth keyboard. To be honest, I don't use Bluetooth with my keyboard, so I am perfectly fine with that. And here we go. Here is the keyboard itself, and we also get a key puller, which is something that I don't have, so I'm happy about that. And would you look at that? That is a very nice looking keyboard. And the MX Browns. I have never used MX Browns before. It is a really interesting feel. First of all, the space bar is really well stabilized, and it does not sound too different than the other keys. There are some inconsistencies between the keys I've noticed. As you can see, it has a bit of a different sound when I'm pressing on the different areas. You know, for $60, this is a really good first impressions. This is a different version of the keyboard than most of the reviews that I've seen. The Velocifire logo sits right down here where you can't really see it, versus having it right here, which is one complaint that I saw from a lot of people. You have the feet right here. Pretty easy to slide out. We have an off and an on button, so I'm going to switch that to the on position. This does have a built-in battery, so that means you don't have to worry about trying to replace the battery, which I like. And again, this is a really substantial keyboard. Hardly any flex at all. I'm not sure if I like that the keys are matte. That's just a personal preference. I don't think I'm going to mind that at all. Let's pull off one of these keys. Oop. Like I said, I've never owned one of these key pullers before. So here is the MX Brown equivalent switch. This is not a genuine MX Brown, it is a clone. But I don't really mind that because I'm not paying upwards of $120 for this keyboard. I like the clicky sound. It's not as tactile as I thought it was going to be. It's enough tactility. I like how it's a lot more linear than something like an MX Blue. You can feel it go all the way down and there's only a little bit of a key press that you can feel, but that tactility sound that you hear is only when the key bottoms out. So if I try and press out the keys really lightly, you can hardly hear anything, which might be really nice if you're in an office environment like my mom is for her virtual classroom. Got it plugged in, and Windows says that it is ready to use. So it looks like the brightness controls are right here. Oh, just have to press FN and the backlight turns on. It looks like there are only two modes, off and on. I'm okay with that. Let me go and start a typing test on 10 fast fingers. Alright, 86 words per minute. That is on the upper end of my speed. I really loved the typing feel. You know, I first mentioned about the tactility when you're just pressing one key, but when you're actually typing, I think that it's going to really help to wear down on the fatigue that you might feel with something like an MX Blue. And the sound itself, it is relatively loud, but it is a lot more muffled than, say, something like an MX Blue, which I also like. And I really noticed that keys like the backspace key, it is really well weighted. I'm now going to go into Word and do a quick test. Alright, I really like this keyboard. I don't have any MX Browns to compare them to, but I do have to say that it is still a really nice feeling board. Let's try this out. Alright, the numpad does work. A lot of reviews that I've seen of the Velocifire do not have the numpad version. They only have the 10 keyless. And since my mom does a lot of data entry, I was thrilled actually to see that they did offer a numpadded version. I'm not sure if I love the typeface that they used on the function keys, but the actual font that they used for the keyboard is subdued enough that I think that it's perfectly fine. I'm really happy that they do offer this in a white backlight without any RGB lighting. And I also like the fact fact that it's just really clear. It is a typist's keyboard, and that's really how they marketed it, versus something like my Razer keyboard where you can clearly tell that it is a gamer's keyboard. I'm gonna do a quick test on my MX Blue right now just to see how they compare. I did actually do substantially worse, and you know, I always just kind of vary. I'm comfortable with the MX Blues. I think that I still prefer them, but the Browns still, I think, are a lot better for typing. It is harder to accidentally press keys, and that's what I find when I'm really trying to type fast, is that I accidentally press a lot of keys. And other than that, it is relatively difficult to move it on the desk. They do have 4 rubber feet plus 2 rubber feet if you prop it up, which I will always do. I think I'm gonna type a bit more on this keyboard. Alright, so I've had this keyboard for about 3 weeks now, and I have to say most of my thoughts and feelings about this is the same as what I vocalized in my first impressions. But there are a few minor complaints that I want you to keep in mind before making your purchase. So the first complaint that I have is really to do with the tactility and the uniformity of the typing experience with this keyboard. I found that the best experience is when you are pressing the keys really hard. That's when you get the tactile experience, and that's when you get that classical sound that you dissociate with a mechanical keyboard. Something like a Cherry MX Blue keyboard over here is going to have really uniform tactility, whether it be if you're just lightly pressing the key, or if you're pressing it down really hard. Although you're going to have a bit more feel from when you actually bottom out that key, it's still going to be the same. Whereas with this Velocifire, when you really just lightly press the keys, it almost feels mushy, kind of like a normal membrane keyboard. But when you are actually pressing it down, I have to say that I kind of like that feel a bit more than the Cherry MX Blue, so it does feel a lot more substantial. The second thing is that the keys, when you press them down really lightly, and you kind of just move your finger across them, they make kind of a really loud and annoying sound, kind of like a clack. And I'm not sure if that's because they're poorly stabilized on the switch itself, or if there's something else to do with the switch hitting something inside the key assembly. And that is something that does happen, at least when I'm trying to type really fast. Another thing is that the keys are kind of shaped in a weird way. You can really see that with the function keys. And this hasn't really been a big problem at all, but sometimes it is kind of distracting if you're not used to the keyboard. Maybe if you have a normal keyboard, which is a bit more uniform, and then you go onto this keyboard where the keys are a lot more U-shaped and a lot more U-curved on the top. And finally, the backlight. The problem that I have with it is the keys itself are not that translucent. It seems like a lot of that light is kind of dodged in between the keys. You can really see a lot more light shining up across the keycap itself versus through the keycap. If you look on something like this Razer, they fixed that by making the backboard itself, where the keys rest, the same color as the backlight. And the last and final thing, the battery life has been pretty darn good, although when I'm actually charging it, it seems like the spacebar remains red for a longer time. Although it's not going to die, obviously, because it's going off of power, it's still not charging as fast as you'd expect it to, I'm guessing because you're trying to type on it also. So those are just my nitpicks. I really love this keyboard, and I highly recommend it, especially if you have not gotten any mechanical keyboards before and you really want to wet your feet into this market. Compared to a very more expensive keyboard like the Black Widow, this honestly holds up really darn well. They do offer these keyboards without a numpad if you want to spend around $10 to $20 less, and they also offer it, I believe, in a wired option, which although I don't recommend because I like that it has a built-in battery and I like the ability to move it around my desk, that is still an option if you want to spend around $30 to $40 to get into a mechanical keyboard of this high of quality. And I'm going to show you guys a round of me doing type tracer. I got 91 words per minute with around a 96% accuracy, just so you can benchmark that against your typing speed. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.